Hello everyone. Let me briefly talk about picking the right plot subsection as part of today's lecture reading. This section covers a set of examples where we take a given data set and produce two different types of plots in a side-by-side manner. You're going to go through the provided data analysis and make a comparison between the two different types of plots in order to determine which specific type of plot best depicts that particular data analysis. In example 1, we are plotting the city level spending information for police, fire, schools, and other departments. The information is coming from a series which is created using a list of integers. On the left hand side, we are plotting pie chart. On the right hand side, we are plotting bar plot. Recall that we already discussed that majority of the times bar plot would be the better option because it is very easy for us to read absolute numbers using the y-axis of the bar plot. That information is not available by default within the pie chart. Let's say that I'm interested in knowing the spending for the fire department. I can simply read the y-axis value corresponding to that particular bar to determine that fire department has a spending of $4 million. If we take a look at this orange pie, it is not obvious as to what absolute number that particular orange pie here represents. Another thing which is very easy for you to do with the bar plot version in this example is to compare the absolute numbers between two different departments. Let's say that we are interested in knowing whether the police or the schools department has the higher spending. It is not very obvious for us to answer that question by comparing the blue pie and the green pie. If we compare the corresponding bars within the bar plot, we can very easily say that the schools department has slightly higher spending than the police department. Once you go through the dataset and make your determination as to which particular type of plot best depicts the data analysis, you can scroll down to the bottom of the reading in order to read the opinions about that particular example. I would strongly encourage all of you to go through every example on your own, come up with your own determination, and then read the provided opinions to get a sense of which specific type of plot best depicts that particular data analysis. Let me go through one more example here. Let me go through plot 11. The data is coming from a data frame which is generated using a dictionary of lists. Recall that when your outer data structure is a dictionary, each of your values are going to become columns. So you have two columns of A and B which have the exact same values, and you have three different rows over here. On the left hand side, we are producing a stacked bar plot. You have three different rows depicted as three different x-axis bars in this plot. On the bottom, you have the bar for the A column. On the top, you have the bar for the B column. Observe that the very first two stacked bars are barely readable. That's because those two bars have very small numbers of 5 and 50 for the corresponding rows when compared to the third row value of 5000. On the right hand side, we are producing stacked bar plot using logarithmic y-axis. You should never use logarithmic y-axis for scaling the stacked bar plot. That's because the bar which is closer to the x-axis is going to appear bigger, which is very deceiving. Keep in mind that both A and B columns have the exact same values for each of the rows. So this particular plot is misleading by showing a smaller bar for the orange which represents the B column and a bigger bar for the blue which represents the A column values. So you should never use logarithmic scaling on the y-axis when you're doing stacked bar plots. I'll let you go through the rest of the examples on your own. I'm going to wrap up today's lecture early so that you have time to go fill out the end of the semester evaluations. My apologies, I couldn't give extra time as part of the previous lecture. That will be it for today's lecture. Please take this extra time to go fill out end of semester course evaluations. Your feedback is extremely valuable to me.